we will get started. Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our Friday webinars. Before we kick off today, I'd like to welcome Andrew to the CabMaster technical support team. Andrew is in Ontario, Canada. As such, he's available from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is his time over there, which means he's going to be available early morning for us here in Australia. If you're a North American customer, you can catch up with technical support well into your evening. Today we're going to be looking at the label designer. I'll show you how to edit your labels and how to get them to display the information that you want to see. We're not going to cover every single possibility of what you can show on labels. Just like custom tables, they are limitless. If you have any questions, you can type them into the webinar interface by clicking the Q&A button on the left-hand side and then typing your question down the bottom. We have Mason here today with me to respond to your questions as we go. You can leave the webinar at any time by clicking on the red phone button at the bottom of the screen. If you do have to leave the webinar early, this video will be uploaded to YouTube within the week, so you can always catch it there. Some things we're going to look at today include where to find label designer, how to tell which label to edit, saving label designs, formatting fonts and labels, and adding placeholders. So if you only have one version of EasyNest, it's usually quite simple to find the correct label designer. If you're using two different copies of EasyNest, then it may be a case of doing it for each copy. First, we'll look at EasyNest 23. So we'll open that. You can run the ATP. If you go load, we can see our file location there. You can copy and paste. So we'll go Control C and we'll paste it into there and go into the labels folder. And you can see there's a label designer.exe. Now in EasyNest 6, it's the same process. Load your ATP, get your file location. Depending on which version or which grade of EasyNest you're running, whether it's advanced or wood, you may also be able to go to File and then Automatic Toolpath and select it from here if it isn't grayed out. So how do you tell which label you're going to edit? Again, in EasyNest, open up the ATP, go to Processing, and then you can see label design down here, and that can be anything. We'll save it as, say, CabMaster 74 by 74. That'll do. And we'll close that. And we'll go, yes, save parameters. So in a label designer, we can open that up, open it from here, and we make sure that we're looking in that same location. So it's CabMaster Software, EasyNest 23, AutoTP, and labels. So we know we're in the right spot, and we can run that one there. I do actually have the wrong EasyNest running. So we'll go to, in my case, I also have extras in here. So we go EasyNest 23, say that one there. I would like to show you the original label, which is possibly that one there. We can go more apps. We don't have label designer there. And there's our CabMaster 105 by 74. This is the one. This is the label I'm going to show you. Generally, you will have a derivative of this label if you've had CabMaster set up your labeling. So we'll open that up and we can zoom in, show the whole thing. You notice that you can't select anything in the grayed out area. If you want to zoom in on a specific part, you can do that. This button here shows the whole label. That is the select tool, the text tool, the barcode tool, and the picture tool. Aside from that, there isn't too much else that you have to worry about with the bar interface up the top here. The first thing I'm going to do is go to Edit and Properties and Grid, and we set the interval to say 1 millimeter. If you're using imperial system instead of metric, it's the same process. You just want a smaller measurement. It makes your grid smaller so that it's easier to see what is going on. And where you have free space, you can grab things, click them around, drag them, change sizes like that. Don't change the overall size of your label once this is set up. Generally, unless you're getting a different label size, different label printer, you've got a new CNC, it's got auto labeling, you go into a square label, this is the only time you'd be changing actual label sizes. All you really want to be doing if you are changing your labels is what you can see on your labels. First thing first, you change your logo. You can double click on it, go in here, and it is in attributes, choose file. You go and search for an image. I'll try and find something that we can use. So we go back one more and we'll go into CabMaster. Gone the wrong way. There we go. All master, CabMaster, bitmap. And we could grab any of these. So we could set it to say Polytech. Just like that. As far as any of these are all just text. So if I wanted to delete that, I just hit the delete key on the keyboard and then I could draw another one in. So it's just click and drag. So we're back in our label. We know how to change the image. We can delete any of the text files. Grab one, it's click and drag. And then we can set the sizes in attributes and we can type in, now it was, we'll just go for a unit, no, something like that. Change the fonts. It's all very straightforward. You can go Bauhaus. I would generally leave it as black and white, but if you are printing your labels with color printer and you're happy to walk out on some colored ink, you can certainly do that. The beauty is if you are printing out labels in color, you can start coloring certain things to make it easier for the people on the floor. So you can go your unit number, so that'll be like cabinet 1, cabinet 2, cabinet 3, etc. You can have that in red. So it becomes easier for the people on the floor building the cabinets to find the cabinet number. You could do the same thing with part. Now, we'll go back to here and we'll go properties. Again, we'll set up the grid because I've lost that. And we'll go 1 mil. And OK. Now, as far as placeholders go, so if we double click on one of these, we can see that we have placeholders. Now, for client, we currently have it set as part name. What I want to be able to do is show the actual client name from CabMaster. So if we look at the data tab, we can see that we've got the use placeholder ticked. If it wasn't ticked, it's just going to show whatever is in the attributes text. So we keep that ticked on. And then we can choose what we want to show from this list down here. Now you'll see that client or account name currently isn't an option. So if there's something else we want to add, we would use the edit source list and we can type it in here. Before we do, we need to know what we're adding in. So if we go into CabMaster, so I'll run CabMaster and we'll go, okay. Bear with me a second while CabMaster loads up. In our CabMaster drawing properties, say we wanted it to be account name. We can see that it has enter a string in the edit box for account name. There's no space in account name, and we need to make sure that we pay attention to that. So the next thing we need to do is alter the file called label XML's extras. This can be found in the library folder at CabMaster. So if you need to know how to find your CabMaster files in CabMaster, go to File, Options, File Locations. These are file locations. We can copy all of that, copy, open up a file explorer, and we can see our file locations in here. So if we come down to label XML extras, it's that one there. Open it up, and I'll drag this across as well. Now it explains exactly how this text document works up here. So there's 3 columns, each separated by 1 tab. Press on the keyboard. Column 1 is the name we'll see in Label Designer. Column 2 is the type, and column 3 is the CabMaster code. For nearly all the placeholders you'll want to add, it's just text. Knowing that, I'm going to add account name, and we are going to put it, doesn't really matter where it is, we can put it in here. So this is the one we'll see in Label Designer. So I'll go account name with a tab, or with a space, hit tab, and text, hit tab. And now we have account name. Save. Before we go back to Label Designer, we can double check our work by opening some machining from CabMaster. We'll save a job. Did I just disconnect again, did I? Frozen for a second. I'm good now. Okay. So back in CabMaster, we'll double check our work. We'll just put in a cabinet, doesn't matter what it is. We will export the job. Actually, we'll save as first. We'll give it a name, something like Label Designer. Saved. File. Export. Export machining. We can see that it is exported into our machining Label Designer folder there. So we can go and find that. That is in the C drive, machining. We have one down here, Label Designer. Any of these. Open up the DXT. And we can actually go Control F to find and search account. You see, there's our account name. There's no value, and there is no value. It's blank there because it's blank here. So if we put in, let's put in webinar. We'll go, okay, let's re-export this. Export machining. We'll overwrite the existing. Back to here, we close this one down. Back in here, we can see that it's been updated based on the time. Now, if we search for account, possibly still have done it wrong, label. Make sure that we have it going right, so that, because I put it in an address line. It's more often user error than software error. Export machining, one more time, there we go. Back to here, label designer, open up the door, we can see the time has changed, 1:21, which it is right now. And we can search for account, right next. There we go. And we see we got webinar in there. It is a lot easier than I made it look. So we can close that down. What I'm going to do now is copy this. And I'm actually running 2 computers at the moment. So that's it there. And on this one, we'll go to here into my local disk machining folder, and I will paste it into here. So now that we have it, we know where it's come from in CabMaster, we have it set up in the label XML extras, and we can see it in the DXT. We can add it into this list here. And we set it as account name, and we go add. Of course, we can delete ones in here as well. Now it's an option that we go down here and we have account name. Just like that, nice and easy. Now you can simply click on save. If you're doing a new label design, you can go save as, give it a new one, whatever it may be. Now, bear in mind how we save this, and I'll show you as an example. So we'll call this, we'll go save. There's a second place that you should change the name of it, and it's in properties design. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, this can't be selected. So I need to untick that, edit, properties, design. That's what we're looking for. You see how it still has the old name there. So this is how it will display in Label Maker. So if we go back to our local disk and into our fresh install of EasyNest 23 labels folder, and we open up a label maker. We open up the label here. We can see the list that is currently available in there. Now, one of these is new. We currently don't know which one. We close this down for a second, back to here. We come in here and we rename this one to new and then save it again. We're going to open up Label Maker and we'll see one of those has changed. Settings, label. There we go there. And there's a new label. Now, of course, then saving that in EasyNest, make sure that it's pointing at the right location. In this case, I am going to go to the ATP, processing. Now it's only looking at, we go to here, it's currently, EasyNest is looking in this location. If we want that new label design, we can go back to wherever it is, this one here, back to Auto TP. We'll copy that folder there. EasyNest 23, Auto TP. And we can paste this one in here. And see that we now have our labels in there. So back in here, close that, reload the Auto TP, processing. There's our new label design. And of course, make sure that your label format matches accordingly. And that will output your new label design when you process a job. Keep in mind that any jobs you've already processed won't have the new label design. So if you do want that new label design, you need to reprocess those jobs. If there's something that you've added as a value from CabMaster, you'll also need to re-export that job from CabMaster so that it shows up in that DXT. Sorry for the technical difficulties today. They certainly weren't planned, but we got there in the end. That wraps up our webinar on Label Designer. If there's any other options or codes from CabMaster or anything else that you'd like to be able to know how to add to your label, email support@cabmastersoftware.com. Next week, we're going right back to the start, right back to basics and introducing CabMaster. It's going to be great if you're a new user or you have new people using the software in your company. Until then, have a good weekend.